Now, one of the things that I consistently say on this channel is that Piers Morgan is so frustrating because sometimes he can be on the right side of things, but a lot of the time he's on the wrong side of things. And I believe in this clip, we're going to see him on the right side of things. My apologies. In this clip, we're going to see Piers Morgan get into a heated exchange with Josh Hammer when it comes to Israel, Gaza, and we're literally going to see Josh Hammer, the person he presses, have a bit of a meltdown towards the end of the clip. As usual, let's watch the clip in full. I'm going to hold my thoughts, my perspective and commentary towards the end. Let's not waste any time. Let's get into it.
Josh Hammer, specifically about what's happening on the West Bank at the moment, surely you would be able to freely condemn the appalling scenes that we're seeing of these astonishingly aggressive settlers.
What are the appalling scenes, Piers? I genuinely asked that question there. Virtually all of what I've seen are information operations. If you have actual clear footage...
Do you think it's all invented?
Most of what I've seen is manufactured from NGOs and various other anti-Israel organizations there.
So you don't think there are any Israeli settlers...
We saw this throughout... That's not what I said.
Just to be clear, then you don't believe there are any Israeli settlers running around terrorizing Palestinians on the West Bank?
Not what I said. Literally not what I said.
So you think there is?
I'm saying if you can show me concrete proof of innocent Arabs who are being attacked by Jews in Judea and Samaria for no reason whatsoever, other than the fact they are Arabs, I will be the first person in the world to condemn that.
So you don't think there is any evidence of any attempt at new settlements going on the West Bank?
Now you're completely changing the conversation.
Well, tell me whether you do or not.
Now you're asking me a separate conversation. Now you're asking me, is the Israeli government building new Jewish homes in Judea and Samaria? You just totally changed the question.
Are Israeli settlers committing acts of violence against Palestinians on the West Bank to take their land?
I have seen zero concrete evidence of an innocent Arab being attacked by a Jew in Judea and Samaria. There are a lot of skirmishes there.
Have you told Naftali Bennett, the former Israeli Prime Minister, because I had him on the show last Wednesday, I think it was.
If you want to play a clip right now and provide me context there and show
no, I'm simply saying
that there were not rocks thrown or any kind of other
Naftali Bennett, a former Israeli Prime Minister who wants to be Prime Minister again.
Naftali Bennett formed a government with the Muslim Brotherhood. He is the last person in the world who ever expressed
you see no evidence. You don't believe
Naftali
Naftali Bennett. You don't believe Avram Berg. It's kind of convenient. This reminds me a little bit of the attitude towards what happened in Gaza, where the Israeli government under Netanyahu... Well, hang on, let me finish. The Israeli government...
Well, you don't let me finish. What I said is that if you can actually show me a single instance of a Jewish man or woman, I suppose, just attacking an Arab for no reason whatsoever, I will be the first to condemn it. I am telling you that since this happened there was the lie that Israel deliberately bombed the Catholic Church in Gaza. There was the lie that the Church of Tabed... It was a whole information operation. Tony Bedron wrote an entire 3,000-word takedown for Tablet magazine. It didn't happen. There was a fire next to an old church building in Taba there in the heart of the biblical heartland of Judea and Samaria there. The church was not touched. Most of this is completely fabricated. There are false images. Now there's AI. It is spread like wildfire throughout social media.
Convenient.
If there are actual instances, of Arabs being attacked, I will be condemning as I condemn.
I have seen literal videos of it happening, which have been verified.
If it's happening, I condemn it. But
you don't know it's happening because you don't want to see it happening because you don't want to believe it's happening.
That's not true.
And this reminds me, to finish my point before you interrupted me, my point about Gaza is that international journalists are still banned by the Israeli government from operating freely in Gaza. And we all know why that must be.
Al Jazeera terrorists are banned. People who are embedded with Al Jazeera who are
international media
Hamas.
Are currently still banned from operating freely in Gaza, despite there having been a ceasefire of sorts for many months. Why do you think the Israeli government doesn't want war correspondents from around the world on the ground in Gaza, do you think?
Piers, I don't work for the Israeli government. I'm American.
Hazard a guess. You're a smart guy.
Frankly, the United States currently controls all situation in Gaza through the border of peace. You probably should ask Donald Trump that question,
things which they don't want the world to know.
Okay, all this has been, I know facts are very hard to come by on Piers Morgan Uncensored these days, but unfortunately, facts don't correspond to your particular narrative. John Spencer, who is the head of urban warfare studies at West Point, has crunched all of the relevant numbers and has shown time and time again that the civilian to combatant ratio in Gaza since the war started on October 7, 2023 has been 1 to 1.5.
If it's been the activities of the most moral army in history, as I keep hearing, If the IDF has done nothing wrong, been completely blameless, been like at the top end of morality in what they did in Gaza, fine, okay. Let the journalists in from around the world to
why don't you go? Like literally, why don't you go?
Properly investigate
if you care that much to cover, why don't you personally fly in there and try to cross the border?
There is a reason the Israeli government has banned the world's media from going into Gaza.
And I think that you should personally challenge that. Frankly, the use of your time, there would be a better use of your time on this show.
I have done repeatedly. I'm wondering whether you would condemn it.
I don't particularly care, to be
honest. You don't care that journalists should be allowed to investigate what may have happened in a war zone? I
care about right pursuing over wrong.
I don't think you do, though, Josh, do you? You just care about your side. You don't care about the truth.
No, Piers, I care about team civilization defeating team barbarism. That is that is the moral dichotomy of the 21st century. It's been the moral dichotomy of black versus light, of good versus evil for millennia there. I know that the moral obfuscation on this show on a day-in-day basis tends to rot brains and minds, make people think
that is
the only thing that motivates me on a day.
Why are you here?
To present the team
You're now doing the Ben Shapiro playbook. You know, anyone that criticises the Israeli government must be anti-Semitic, must be rotting brains. This is Jerry Springer. This is a circus. I've got you on to debate this.
I didn't call you anti-Semitic.
But it's coming because it's the Ben Shapiro playbook. That any criticism...
Ben Shapiro has not called you anti-Semitic either. Ben Shapiro has called you dumb and stupid, or some variation thereof. Okay, I mean, like he has called your show Jerry Springer. He has not called you anti-Semitic. He has not done that because he has no reason. I have no reason for thinking that you are.
Good. Well, I'm glad we can cross that bridge. I'm glad that you come on a show that you think rots people's brains because I mean, why would you do that? I don't get it.
It's a fair question, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, why don't you just leave?
I could, but I'm here to engage.
What are you doing here? If you think it rots your brain, why would you risk rotting your brain?
Every so often you have a guest who makes a modicum sense, and I thought this would be a good opportunity.
You mean someone that agrees with you and doesn't want to criticise the Israeli government? I get it. Let me go back to
guys. What you just witnessed there is typical of Zionists. That is so typical of a Zionist. First and foremost, if you see in the beginning, he refuses to answer Pierce's question. Refuses to do it. Now, this is why I say to you guys, I'm no fan of Piers Morgan, but when Piers Morgan gets it right, I love the way he acts. The way he pressed and pressed and pressed until Josh Hammer done what Zionists do, starts to play the victim and then just starts to throw around insults. He dodged the answers to the questions because he knows the answer. Everybody has seen what it is that settlers do to Arabs. We've seen it. We've seen the videos. We've literally seen it with our own two eyes. But yet still, Josh Hammer, a known Zionist, refuses to answer the questions that Piers Morgan is posing to him simply because of the fact that he knows if he answers the questions with truth, it's going to make Israel look bad. That's the reason as to why. That is the reason. And people like him literally try and paint and portray the picture that the rest of the world are bad and it's a pylon when it comes to Israel. But we see what it is that we see with our own two eyes, but they try and make out like we are the ones who have got it wrong, like we are the ones who don't know what it is that we're talking about. But this is how Zionists are. And this is how these people don't even have, what's the word? They don't even have a moral compass in anything that it is that they do. They just believe Israel has the right to do whatever it wants, whenever it wants, with whoever it wants, and everybody else must just stand by. That's what it is that they believe. But the reality is this, that is not the way that it goes at all. It's not. And it's good to see someone like Piers Morgan using his voice on the right side of history for once to actually go ahead and call it out. Honestly, let me know your guys' thoughts on this exchange between Piers Morgan and Zionist Josh Hammer in the comment section below. While you guys are down there, do me a favor, hype up the video, give the video a thumbs up, and also hit subscribe if you're interested in my perspective, my point of view, my commentary on all things to do with American politics. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you guys in the next clip.